You are now listening to the Inner Circle Podcast Network.
Never die. 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 Never die.
Fuck you.
All right, it is Sunday, and you might be wondering what happened on Friday, but I got a special guest today. So before we get into that, I want to thank Jon Andersen's Thrive Body Transformation Program. Look, if you're trying to lose weight, get in shape, you're trying to put yourself in a different level of fitness, but you just don't know how, you can easily do it by learning how to eat right, learn what to eat, how to eat, fucking the portions, the times, all that bullshit. Get your weight under control. I'm going through the program, and I've lost tons of weight, and you know what? You can do it too. Like I said, reach out to Jon Andersen's Thrive Body Transformation Program. Link is in the notes. Just mention the Angry Dad, and he'll take care of you. Sundays, take back your lawn. Look, if you want your shit to be green, thick, and luscious, you can use code AngryDad at checkout at sundays.com. Take back your lawn. Look, they use the internet, they use satellites. They put together a package, a program that you literally plug to your hose, spray your lawn, and your lawn just comes out thick, green, and luscious as fuck. So get hooked the fuck up at Sundays. Sleep Terror Clothing. Sleep Terror Clothing is a dark occult brand. Look, hats, shirts, art prints, all this stuff from New York City at sleepterror.com. Look, go check it the fuck out. I use the beard oil, Leviathan Cross. It smells good, looks good, and doesn't come with those stupid droppers. It comes with a little tap on the top, a couple of dabs on your hand, and you're good to go. Official is a hip-hop inspired street brand coming from Tucson, Arizona by the homie Casual, and you can get 25% off your first order with code AngryDad at checkout at official.com. Get hooked the fuck up. All right, I'm going to bring in my guest. I have Akim BK Beast Williams. All right,
thank you.
Akim. No, go ahead, brother.
No, I was just going to thank you for having me, man.
No. Thank you for coming on. I mean, like I said, I appreciate the time. And, we're all busy. You're always busy. Let me tell you right now, you spend so much time training. It makes me jealous because I wish I could be in the gym as much as you are.
Well, when you do it for a living and that's your livelihood, it becomes part of the process to making yourself better,
No, and speaking of that, that's like one of the main things I wanted to touch on is like, when did you make the transition from a regular job to full-time bodybuilding? That's the transition that catches my eye the most, because it's like the majority of us would love to just train for a living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I was working a regular job back in 2013, 2014, and I think I was spending so much time in the gym that I realized that I don't want to wake up one day and say, what if? So I decided to quit my job and try to pursue this career full time. So it was a personal decision based on the fact that I spent so much time in the gym, so much time training and competing and stuff like that, that I didn't want to, like I said before, wake up one day and say, what if I pursue this career? Now, where would I have, how far could I have gone? Or how far could I have gotten,
No, that's definitely it. Well, if you don't mind, what was your job before you started pursuing this bodybuilding?
I worked at a university as an undergrad counselor. So
no.
So I was involved in getting students ready for college, getting them into college, financial aid aspects, personal counseling, you name it. I did everything. I was like jack of all trades at that university.
All right. Now, while you were doing this, I know how big you are now, but at that time, could you say you had that size at that moment in time?
Yeah, I was still big because I was competing. I was competing on the side and everything like that. So I was still big. I was the guy in the office that whenever they need something moved or anything like that, they would call me up.
Now I can only imagine these kids coming in, because this is all college stuff here, and. Was there ever, because that's an elephant in the room. You're just like, I'm coming to see this huge dude. Mm-hmm. And what was the strangest comment that anyone's ever made while you're having one of these processes? Or like just in general, did they just ever mention it? Or they just kind of just didn't even?
I mean, eventually, you grow a relationship with students and, they become comfortable with you. But coming in, most of the freshmen coming in straight from high school, they were very quiet when they first meet me, you know. But for my sophomores and juniors and seniors, you know, we had that relationship, so they could talk to me, and the majority of the time they just wanted advice on how to get in shape and how to, you know, get big and stuff like that. So that's the most I ever gotten.
Oh, you know, with that being the most asked question of you, because I'm assuming that's just what it is like, how do I lose weight? That's usually like, you know, and I'm not a huge fitness guy. I do work out. I do watch myself. I do, you know, not diet, but I have a lifestyle of eating, you know, as good as I can. But that's the number one question I get asked all the time. And is it a question that you're sick of being just being asked, or just hearing?
It depends on who's asking, man. If somebody is actually motivated to lose weight and you can see that they really want to do it, then, you know, I have no problem. But then if it's just some random person that just, you know, just asking you just to make conversation, and, you know, and if you give them an answer or you give them advice, they're not going to take it, then, you know, I don't feel like wasting my time, you know. So it all depends on who's asking. Yeah.
I trust me. It's the same thing, because like you know, I'm 6'5" and I'm 300 pounds. You know, I got decent. I'm not at any near level you guys, but you know, I got a decent shape to me. And you know, and I get asked it just randomly at the store. I could be standing in line and someone's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh my god." You know, I don't mind answering, but just like you said, like when it's just to make conversation, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Or especially somebody that's not serious about it, knowing, you know, damn well, no matter what you tell them, they're going to go back and start eating McDonald's and fries and all this other stuff. So, you know, why waste my time, you know?
No, and that's the truth. You know, and then I want to steer a little in towards the training, you know, with training and working out. How many friends, and, you know, I've always had my small group of guys that, you know, training partners that have come in and out. Training partners are a hard thing to lock down. Everyone always has scheduling conflicts. But how often would you just wreck them, or they'd wreck themselves from just trying to keep up?
A lot, man. I don't even like bother asking people to train with me anymore. Majority of times I'm pretty much training by myself, because one, they try to keep up with me and then they get injured, or two, you know, they feel like I train too hard and they just don't show up. So the whole training partner thing, I don't really focus on it anymore.
You know, it sometimes it goes like that, because you know, I'll give you a couple of, like, my brother used to train with me all the time. We used to work together, so we were on the same schedule, same shift. And before, you know, life changes after a while. But when we were on lock for maybe about 2 years on the same schedule, me and him would get off of work, go straight to the gym. And, you know, at that moment in time, this is like 2015, I was really serious into bodybuilding, where I was going to prep for a show. I was like on the track of like, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting in the cardio, I'm putting in the weights. And what ended up happening is I would always tell him, like, don't do this. Stick to what you're doing. Do the weight you want. But, you know, he's hard-headed like me, so he just go as hard as he can. And then I used to destroy him so often at the gym. Like, I would have to force him to eat. I would have to force him to get up. I'd have to, you know, it's a family love thing, because, you know, he really wanted to do this. But he had a tendency where people were like, hey, I want to come work out with you guys. And so typically he'd always tell them, because Friday was always my leg day. And so he would have them come on leg day. And I used to wreck them on leg day, because like I had a certain protocol. Like, I always wanted huge freaking legs. Being as tall as I am, if you don't have huge legs, it's noticeable. No matter what you do, you can have well-defined legs, but being at 6'5", if the legs ain't thick and big, you just look like you got skinny legs. And so we used to go so hard on that leg day. And he used to hate me for it, because he always tell me, he's like, I love you every day of the week except Friday. And so he would invite people to come train with us on those days when they would ask, and he'd bring him in on leg day. He knows how hard I go. And then he purposely, not purposely do it, but he would just like, no, you came, you wanted to train, you wanted to go hard. So he would push them just enough to where they would regret it and complain to him all week.
Legs is definitely one of those hated or loved body parts, you know. A lot of people, you know, want to train legs, but once they start, you know, they gotta quit. You know, something about leg day. A lot of people are not into it. They'll do any other body part except legs.
Yeah, it's always funny how that works out, because it's like everyone was, I got strong legs. I walk all day, I stand all day. I was like, no, you're just used to that all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how like that one body part just burns that much, especially when you just push it just a tiny bit more than you normally do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a muscle, like you said, you use it a lot. You use it to stand all day. So you got to push it extra hard to get the results that you want. It's not like your arms or your shoulders or anything like that. Legs, you stand around on them all day. So they're constantly getting worked. So you just have to take it up another level to get them to respond.
That is it, And with training, we all have a favorite part. What would be your favorite, like the day you look for when you get to go to the gym?
I would probably say legs, actually. I definitely would say legs, just because I'm really, when it comes to squatting and leg press and stuff like that, I'm really strong, and one of the body parts I really enjoy training, actually. So I mean, it didn't start it off as that at first. Before I was like your typical guy who loved training chest, loved training back and stuff like that. But I think as of lately, I'm more into training legs than anything else.
Me too. Right now, I had to force myself to love leg day when I used to train like that. Because what ended up happening is, like I said, being tall. I'm like, no, the bigger the legs, the bigger the body, and that's like the motivation that I always had. So I used to work at night, so we'd get off work around 2:30 at night, and every other Friday would just be just squats. It wouldn't be, there are no leg extensions, there's no nothing. We just go in there and we squat. We do some front squats to warm up, and then go into a 300 rep set where we'd start off with the bar and then just increase the weight till we got to 225, and then walk the weight all the way back down. And just the sheer volume that we used to do in the middle of the night, just to fucking get that size. And people don't really understand how hard you have to push your legs to get them that big. But when to add mass, it's the reps on sets, but it's also the quality of the squat. And with a lot of people that are squatting, what do you feel is the best squat form? Because you got high bar, low bar, mid bar, front squats, zerk squats, hex squats. What's the thing that you think is just going to add the size?
I mean, the body is so different, and people's mechanics is so different. I would have to say you just got to find something that suits your body, suits your mechanics, and stick to that. There's no best form in general. It's all about your body and what fits your body and what works best for your body. It's just like, it's the same concept with dieting. Not every diet is going to work. Not one diet is going to work for everyone. You got to find what works for you. So it's the same concept with the squat. You just got to figure out what works for you and stick to that. I've noticed that when I squat at the end of my workouts, my legs respond better. So I don't squat in the beginning at all. I'll do everything else, and then I'll squat at the end, and I've gotten really good results with that. So that's what I stick to.
See, that's the thing, is like everything's so cookie cutter. There's a lot of fitness people out there that add these programs that are like almost copy and paste style. Yeah. But a lot of times people don't ever take the time to effort to like notice either the mind muscle connection or to actually put together something that's a little bit more tailored to them. Because just like you said, everybody's a different size, a different mechanics, and a different movement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then the one thing I always wanted to add, like, what are you on the parallel or ass to grass squat though?
Oh God. In the beginning of my career, you have the quote unquote form police who's always like, so especially on social media, when you post a video, they're gonna like comment, oh, you're not going all the way down, not ass to grass type shit. But so in the beginning of my career, I used to go all the way down, ass to grass, below parallel and everything like that. And it looks pretty, but at the same time, I'm in the business of building muscle. I'm not in the business of having proper form, and what works best for me is like going at least parallel, so I don't have to go ass to grass and risk getting injured and all this other stuff. I'm here to get bigger muscles because that's what they care about on stage. They don't care about my form or anything like that. So for me, I would say whatever works best, man. Parallel, if it works for you, and you can, achieve the goal that you want to achieve, then hey, who gives a shit what anybody else say?
Hey, and that's the freaking truth. Because I used to, when I first started like I said, acid grass was the only way I assumed to go, because it was like, you're not a man if you're not going acid grass. And then I started watching a whole bunch of Dexter Jackson videos, and Dexter Jackson was like, fuck this acid grass. I'm going like over 50, still training, still going hard, and I don't go past parallel, and guess what? My knees are fine. And I'm like, you know what? As I'm getting up in age, I'm like, I need to do the same thing.
Exactly. You know, you got nothing to prove to anybody. And I think that's a problem with a lot of the newer generation, the people that, you know, go to the gym and stuff like that, the younger guys. You know, they always feel like they got to prove something to people, you know, and this is your journey. This is your fitness journey, you know, and who is to say somebody's going to, like, you know, tell you how to live your journey or how to go about, you know, achieving your goals. You know, you're doing this for you, and like, just don't really care about what anybody else says. So if you want to go parallel and it works for you, man, more power to you. You know, you ain't got to prove anything to anybody.
And that's good fucking advice right there. Because I'll tell you right now, it's like, it took me a long time to, like, I went through 4 years of bro science, like 4 years of just straight, like, you know, I'm just going off of what I know and kind of the advice of the people that I know in the gym area. And then I had a couple of friends that they do bodybuilding on a local level. And I was telling them what I was trying to do. And these guys took me under their wing and beat me to shit for about 2 months. You know, I had never been squatted while squatting, you know, because I didn't really know what it was to get to failure and to pass failure and then to finish and complete a set until these, like, I had never puked so much in my life. You know, being not professionally trained, but trained so I know what I'm doing safely. And when I went through that process, you know, like, I came out like, oh my, a different appreciation for training, a different appreciation for working out, and a different appreciation for form checking yourself, because that's why mirrors are in the gym. A lot of times people, they're just, they're there to, no, they're there to help you correct yourself. You know what I'm saying? They're not there for the selfies. They're not there for, you know, to watch people behind you. No, they're there to make sure that you're like, oh, okay, I'm a little sloppy here. Tighten it up. You know, when you first started training, did you train with somebody to, you know, get yourself started, or you kind of just started on your own and then kind of figured your way out?
I pretty much started on my own and figured my way out, because back then, you know, everybody was at competition with everybody. So you couldn't go up to people and ask for advice, or like how it is now, and go through the internet and ask somebody, you know, about, you know, what are you doing wrong? What are you doing right? Because everybody it's just all competition, you know, like I'm so like in a space right now where, you know, younger guys could come up to me in the gym or whatever and ask me questions and stuff like that, or even reach out to me on social media. Back when I started, we didn't have that, man. So it was just trial and error, you know. You had to figure it out on your own, you know. And that's why I made a lot of mistakes in terms of, you know, my one little injury in my shoulders. That's why I kind of got it from, because, you know, trial and error, trying to do stuff that I really wasn't supposed to be doing, you know.
Yeah, no. It definitely happens like that, especially like, you know, a lot of times, you know, even with bench pressing, it's something I always see is like people are like doing these like suicide benches where the elbows are completely flared out and they're going like literally almost neck height to pull this bar. And I'm like, oh my God, I remember when I used to do that. And then it's almost like you can't tell anybody anything regardless. And the gym's always been like that. You can't ever really mention anything like, who the fuck am I to say anything, even though I'm somebody who's like, hey, I'm concerned, be careful doing this because this is putting so much stress on your elbows, because I've been there, done that. But just like you said, like the way social media is, the way YouTube is, there's so many different people out there giving out good information, but weeding out the bad information is one of the hardest fucking things. You know, with any bad advice, what's like, if you had to put something out there and be like, look, how to avoid bad advice, or kind of like, you know, just going through social media stuff, like, do you feel like I get upset because somebody is saying this, doing this, or like kind of portraying something that shouldn't be portrayed like that?
Oh man, there's a ton of that out there, you know. And like you said, I mean, that's a very tough question in terms of how do you figure out what's bad advice, good advice.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say just go in there, watching videos, getting knowledgeable, man. You know, there's so many different ways to do stuff, and that's a very, very good example that I never just take one person's perspective on stuff. Like I always look at multiple different perspectives on how to do stuff when it comes to training and stuff like that, you know, and I figure out what works best for me. Does that make any sense?
No, that makes plenty of sense because, I like my whole one of the things that I did when I first started is I kind of picked a bodybuilder. I'm like, I like his attitude. I like his style. I like his physique. What is he doing? And then as I progressed in my time, I ended up like, I like how he's doing this, but I don't like this. And then I would look at other bodybuilders and I would see like Anton, he's one of the people that like, one of the first people I was exposed to through Animal because of looking through magazines, reading articles. He had these full page spreads. And I was like, and then watching his YouTube videos, he'd do all these back flips, cork 360 flips, and he'd do all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, man, that's fucking badass. And then I would see how he trained. And then it got me into watching like Evan Centopani, where Evan was like doing like all these calculated moves. And I'm like, I like that. And then I'd, seeing Dorian Yates, seeing all these people, what I'm saying, Lee Priest. And so I started picking body parts off of people. I'm like, how does he do this? And then and then I would compare each one of them to how they trained or hand movement or placement. And so like I found all these different styles, and they come to find out the heavier and the higher volume works for me. Like before I would do, the 10 to 12, then I go 10 to 15, 10 to 20. And then that 10 to the 15 to 20 rep range, that's my sweet spot because at that last 15 to 20 reps, as much as I can go at that moment in time, I could feel the load in my muscle.
Yeah.
But that took years to figure it out. But like I always see people like put, you need to do exactly like this and your elbows like this. And I'm like, oh my God, that works for you, bro, because you're long, lanky, and you have this young muscle, But it is hard to pick through it. But I read, like, I was so serious about this. I read every article, bought every magazine, read everything I could to figure out what would be best for me. But, it all started with I like the way this guy is, and that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
With you in your competition days and with everything going on right now, I know you're not competing right now. It's all, you've been on Nick Strength and Power, RX Muscle, everything's going out. But what are you doing right now to prepare for the next show?
Well, I'm just back, just training and trying to improve body parts and stuff like that. There is a few different body parts that I wanted to improve, like hamstrings, like still working on my back and stuff like that. So I've just been in the gym a little bit more focusing on those areas. And hopefully, I could make the improvements that way when I step back on stage. They're noticeable because in bodybuilding, especially at my level, you don't ever want to step on stage looking the same. You always want to bring something different to the table. So that's the goal right now, just to make those improvements. And then when I get back on stage, it's a noticeable improvement, so to speak.
All right. Now with hamstrings, name the one exercise that you're doing just a little bit different right now.
I would say my lying hamstring curls. I increase the reps, and I'm actually going a lot heavier than I usually do. So I think that's making a huge difference. The fact that I'm going heavier and just increase the rep range, basically.
Nice. All right. Now, what's the preferred row when you come into, I'm talking about that Christmas tree lower back. What is the one right now that you are like concentrating in on? Because, I always have those one. I'm going to do this just a little bit harder today.
Well, I mean, definitely those, God, I'm drawing a blank right now. You could do definitely stiff legs helps with the lower back, or just in general doing the hyper extensions. I find that when I do weighted hyper extensions, those help me a lot with getting that Christmas tree in. But for anybody out there that's listening to this, you could do the stiff legs also help with that also too.
Okay. That's good to know because that's something I can work on.
Yeah.
Because my lat sits low, so like it's almost my bottom of my lat. For most people, that some of these most people ain't gonna know, but my lat, where it connects at, is like almost halfway down my body. So, and I got a long torso, so it like cups right under my fucking chest. So, I'm always trying to get that Christmas tree to fucking pop, even though fucking. You know, as much as I've gotten down to about 8%. That's about the lowest body weight that I can, and it just never got it to fucking like just it goes like that. Sometimes you just can't get that last little. At least, you know, I'm not at the professional level, but you never get to that last little fucking bit.
Yeah, they're definitely throwing those hyper extensions after you finish training upper and mid back. Throwing those hyper extensions at the end. Those definitely would help.
Nice
with the Christmas tree.
I'm definitely gonna work on that a little bit. All right. I want to get how heavy are you getting on your squats and your deadlifts? You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard a couple of stories where you're just like, I'm just repping shit out.
I mean, back when I first started, I did a lot of impressive stuff. I think the most I ever squatted was around 850, so that was pretty impressive. Yeah, but now I stay like right around like 405. And I haven't gone over 4 or 5 in a while, actually, to be honest with you. So I'll put 4 plates on there and bang out 15 reps. You know,
like it's nothing. I'm just gonna casually say that, and not gloss over that. You know what I mean? Because that's impressive, regardless.
Yeah, thank you, man. You know, I feel like a little bitch right now, but you know, doing 4 or 5 when I used to do 8 plates in a quarter. But you know, whatever.
Let me tell you something right now.
To get the job done.
Yeah, 8 plates in a quarter are a fucking monster. But I can only say I've seen maybe 2 people in my lifetime, physically see 2 people in my lifetime just squat 405 like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just rep it out for sets. And, you know, people don't, you know, like we see all these other bodybuilders doing all this crazy weights, Machiavelli motivation, you know, Nick strength and power, all these, you know, we get exposed to it on the internet, but when you physically go to the gym, you ain't seeing that on an everyday average fucking, you know, like gym go. Like the most I usually get to see people do is like 315, and they make it, and they're struggling at the end. You know what I'm saying? There is a reason why it's the top set. You know, but like when you just casual, just 405, 15 reps. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. That's impressive as fuck.
Yeah.
What about
I think I just lost that motivation. I think I just lost that motivation to go extra heavy because, you know, you always want injury away from, you know, ending career type stuff when you go in that kind of heavy weight. So I'd rather stay with something I'm more comfortable with.
No, which, you know, because I'm 38 or 39, actually. I'm getting ready to be 40 this year. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like I used to do stuff with reckless disregard. I'd be like, I'm just going to fucking go in there and I'm going to rep, you know, 405 on a deadlift. I'm starting I was so reckless. I got to a point where I was like, I will do nothing under 100 pounds with dumbbells. Everything's my starting point is 100. So I go in there, you know, I get warmed up, loosen my shoulders, grab 100-pound dumbbells, and then that would be my starting set. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I should be in there, you know, warming up, getting blood flow, and then like, no, I just throw hundreds for 20 on the fucking first set, and then work myself up to the 150s, and that's just, you know, like that's just how I was thinking at that moment in time. Yeah, with you train with, you work with, you see at these competitions, who is the one bodybuilder that you're always just like, that guy's a badass?
I would probably say Dexter Jackson, man. Just to the sheer fact of what he's accomplished and also the longevity of his career. You know, I don't think anybody in this sport has been doing it or did it for as long as he did. He has, you know, and at a very successful career, you know. So definitely, you know, Dexter Jackson, you know, I take my hat off to him for, like I said, for what he has accomplished and also for how long he has done it.
Yeah. No, let me tell you right now, that man, there's a reason why they call him the Blade, because he like, I used to always watch his YouTube videos when he would start his Olympia prep. He would sit in his kitchen, literally ride his bike, cook his eggs, you know, get in his. I always loved how he had his lifting belts in the back headrest of his car. And he was just like, "Nah, this is what I'm wearing. This is this is the one I'm using today." I was always like, just always in awe, like how he could do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, with his recent retirement, he's actually downsized quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? He's looking like not just healthy, but he's looking like a much more youthful. Mm-hmm. And with the Legacy the Legacy Pro that they just announced, a lot of people are thinking that he should do it, but at the same time, he's trying to enjoy his retirement. He literally just retired. Why would he try to come back? Do you think Dexter should try to do at least one or enjoy his retirement?
I would say enjoy his retirement, man. He ain't got anything else left to prove, Why, I saw, Flex Wheeler tried to make a comeback once, and that didn't go too well for him. So, to me, my best advice probably, I can't really give Dexter advice, but I would say, you're retired, you're happily out the door, stay, and enjoy your retirement. There's no point to go back on stage and proving anything,
I feel the same way. He doesn't have anything to prove. He just enjoy your retirement. His career was just epic. It was a Mr. Olympian, and it's just one of those crazy things. Have you ever had a chance to be on stage with Jay Cutler?
I'm trying to remember. I think I did, actually. I want to say back in 2015, maybe. I think I did. If I'm not mistaken. I think so. I can't remember.
That's badass.
I think I have. I think the only... Yeah, actually, I think I did, actually. I think I did.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah. And I bring up Jay Cutler for this reason. I want to say this was probably 2010, maybe 2009, when he was still with BPI, and before he started his own brand and everything like that. He was actually coming to the Bay Area. He stopped in San Francisco. He was at a GNC doing an autograph signing, and I just started getting into bodybuilding because before I used to train for not powerlifting, but for strongman. Being my size, and I just been naturally gifted with this ridiculous fucking strength of just picking stuff up and having grip strength like ain't no tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I went to go see him. I was like, I want to get an autograph. You know what I'm saying? He's doing all these things. And I literally had the day off. All of a sudden, the stars aligned, hey, you don't got to work today. Go home. So instead of going home, I just hopped on the train, went straight to the city because it took me right to the front door where he was at. And he seen me. And he was just like, God damn, bro, you're so... Because at that time, I think I was 320 pounds, but I was just this huge block. And he did. I have my autograph poster, which is in my garage. I got it hanging right above my home gym. And he literally took a booklet, wrote a whole bunch of stuff down. He said, hey, train like this. Mm-hmm. And that's what started my bodybuilding career, not bodybuilding career. That just started my bodybuilding journey. But it started what getting into fitness and doing all that stuff. And it's just one of those memories of goddamn, someone just seen that potential. Has any of these, your fellow bodybuilders come to you and just be like, goddamn fucking bro, you just keep this shit fucking going. Someone that really stuck out, that gave you some advice that you can tell us.
Definitely. I've gotten advice from Jay before. I've gotten advice from Dexter, Victor, a lot of the top guys that's in the sport, have, given me advice before, in terms of, just keep it going. You have all the tools to make it to the top and stuff like that. So, I wouldn't say anyone really stand out because, I've always gotten advice from all of them, and I really appreciate the fact that they take the time out of their day to acknowledge, me or give me, a bit of advice in terms of, stay on the path and then continue. And if you continue and you keep everything right, it could be successful. You're going to be successful. So for me, I would say the person that has inspired me the most in terms of my bodybuilding journey and career is the guy that introduced me to bodybuilding, and that's Leon Brown. Without him, I wouldn't be here today, Yeah. And unfortunately, he passed away last year, so he's no longer with us. But for me, that's the person that has had the most impact on me in terms of getting into the sport and everything like that.
That's nice. That's like I said, it's just we always have those key moments where you're just like, this is what I'm gonna do, because I didn't really know how much I like working. I always liked the idea of working out. I always liked the idea of training. I always liked the idea of just being this big jacked person, because Conan the Barbarian was the first aspect I've seen of a large person, and as a kid that I can remember, you know what I'm saying, watching that TV shit, watching that on TV, because I wasn't old enough when it came out to see it in the theaters, but I was old enough to watch it on you know, channel, you know, whatever free channel, you know, when we only had antennas at that moment in time. And so, you know, I always knew I was gonna, you know, being a big kid, I always knew I wanted to just, you know, have some facet of working out with muscles. And then when you get that moment of like, oh, this is what I love. This is what I love to do. And it's not just a passion, but it's like this all-encompassing thing of my life where I'm just like, man, I enjoy this. And, you know, with working out, I also have other passions. And that's what I want to know is like, what are the other things that you enjoy doing that's actual downtime?
Well, I'm really big into cars and stuff like that. You know, a lot of people don't know that about me, but I'm a really big car guy, you know, and if I'm not working out, I'm pretty much on the internet searching for cars or searching for car parts or trying to figure out what to do with my cars and stuff like that. So that's
give me a list of the cars. That's what I want to hear.
I mean, I've had a lot over the years, man. I've had a '89 Fox body Mustang that I was building for a little while. Then, you know, it started getting a little bit too expensive, so I had to get rid of it. Then I've had some, you know, luxuries, Mercedes SL 500s.
Nice.
Then I went the route of BMW, so now I have a BMW M3. And I also have I have also my baby, which I'm thinking about selling it, but I'm not sure yet. I have a C6 Corvette. That's my pride and joy right there. And I put a lot of money into it. I put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
So
don't give up that C6.
No, I'm thinking about upgrading to maybe a C7 or possible C8.
Oh man, you know those C8s are so freaking ridiculous. There's like 3 people in my neighborhood that got them. Yeah. And when they go by, they really tried to fucking just take away from Ferrari and Lamborghini right there, because that's like literally on the cusp of like, I can own this and not have to fucking buy one of these $100,000 fucking cars. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now with all the markups and stuff like that, you might. Oh
yeah, it's probably 100,000 now, but yeah. And it's insurable too, because it's a Chevy and it's not a Ferrari, because the insurance is what's gonna fucking kill you no matter where you are. Like like can you imagine trying to park that shit somewhere in the city? Fuck.
Exactly. But I'm on the fence between the C7. I like the C7 look better than the C8. It's just
what is it? It's like a Z, the Z. Man, I wish I could remember.
Z06?
Not the Z06. There's a different level one where it comes not just supercharged, but it has like an upgrade. Yeah, there you go. ZR1. Yeah. It's freaking pretty badass.
Yeah, that's big boy money right there.
that's big boy money. Because let me tell you right now, that hood on it that comes with it, it looks so fucking good. Yeah. I'm a huge car guy too. Huge car. That's all I do is I'm an old school car guy. You know, usually between I want to say probably about 68 to about 75 is my GM range of what I like, because I'm a Chevy guy, but I'm also a Monte Carlo guy. Monte Carlos, them's my cars. I've owned a 70, 71, and a 72. And, you know, I'd buy them really cheap, which you can't do anymore. I'd build them up, fix them all by myself, paint them, and then flip them. And then now I'm like, I wish I never flipped any of those fucking cars. I wish I still had them. That's why I'm like, don't sell nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. And, you know, I'm also, but not with that, I used to actually be a lowrider guy where I would buy them 13s, heat the springs, slam them, you know, 415s in the back, complete system, you know, flashing. And then I got introduced to muscle cars, and I was like, nah, I like speed. I like that rumble in the car, you know. And then even with that, my other favorite cars is G bodies. Anything from 78 to 87. Those G bodies are the ones. I used to have a 79 Pontiac Grand Prix. It was gold on gold with T-tops. I pulled the motor out, put a Pontiac 455 in it, turbo 400 tranny. I had 308 in the back. This thing sounded like a fucking NASCAR. I was running 100-shot NOS. Oh my God. Talk about fucking ridiculous, man. People don't even, this thing would damn near pop wheelies because how fucking much horsepower this thing and torque it fucking had. And like it was so powerful after I got it all built and got it all ready. The horns that hold the whole front suspension snapped. Both of them just flipped up because the power was so great, and the torque on it would just twist the frame. I had to get someone to weld it, and it got to the point where I couldn't fix it anymore. I had to dump it.
Yeah.
You know, and in California, we have to, you know, I don't know about where you got, but we have to smog all our cars.
Yeah.
And I want to say for 5 years, I drove that thing hot. No registration, no tags, because I couldn't smog it because it required it. So yeah, I wrote out and a highway patrol pull up on me, and I would be like, oh my God, here it goes. And then they just pass me. They would just like not even. I'll be like, whoo.
Yeah, you guys,
you know what
you
I
guys
mean?
have a lot. You guys have a lot of crazy laws out there, man. Even with the exhaust and stuff, with the exhaust.
Yep.
I could have moved out there because I love my exhaust loud. You know, I would have to give up the exhaust on my Corvette. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, trust me. That's exactly it. Like I said, that car could have been taken from me at any moment in time because it literally sounded like a NASCAR because it used to be like lop. And then just as soon as I stepped on it, like I had 412s in the back of that one, and once I was full throttle, you couldn't even hear the speakers. Couldn't hear nothing. There's no nothing. It was all motor. It was so fucking nasty. You know, my neighbors used to hate it when I'd start it in the morning and go to work because you just can't start a car like that. You got to fucking gas it. You know what I'm saying? Wow, at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh God, yeah, your neighbors definitely hated you then.
Oh yeah, no, they did. But also too, I was the biggest guy on the block, so no one ever say anything, but I just understood. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I've always been a huge I had to being as young as I think I was like 13, 14 when I got my first car. Didn't tell my mom, and I had to learn how to work on these things. And once you get mechanically inclined like that, it's just like, nah, I do it my damn self.
Yeah. I wish I had that problem. I got to pay people to do my stuff. So that's why it has become very expensive, you know, especially when you're paying somebody to make modifications and stuff like that. So I always choose what I want to do.
You have to, especially because you got an M3, bro. I don't know if you did anything to it, but them M3s got so many options.
Yeah. Now the M3 I actually have it still stock. I haven't done anything to it. It's my daily driver, so I don't want to mess with it.
Oh, okay, yeah. If it's the daily driver, you can't do too much to it.
Yeah. But the Corvette, I did a few stuff to it. You know, I have it all camoed right now. Yeah,
man,
it's my pride and joy. So, but
you got it supercharged up?
No. Out here, man, New Jersey, we ain't got no space for that kind of speed. We ain't got the roads for that shit, man. The most we do is maybe a turbo or maybe exhaust and stuff like that, but not no supercharger, man.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to take it to Montana one of these days and just open it all because Montana has a couple of spots where there's no speed limits.
So you could open it up. It's almost like the Autobahn in Germany.
Exactly. Like I said, they got a couple of straightaways where there's like, no speed limit. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah.
I always tell myself I'm going to do that, but at the same time, you know, I've told myself I wouldn't buy another car until I was like ready to fully, because just like you said, that it's expensive. So I'm doing the same thing where like I have my car, or I could get a car. But then I'm going to dump all my time and effort into it. And once I do all the time and effort into it, it's like nothing else will exist to me because I'm going to be like, I'm a junkyard guy. I love going to the junkyard. I love finding parts. I love fucking, like it's like a treasure hunt for me. So we used to do it every weekend. I take my son with me. Like, let's go. We're going to see what we find today. You know, I've always had the aspects of building like these all-wheel drive Chevys where I'd get like an old Astro van, take the front end, throw it in one of these fucking G bodies, and then just literally build myself a fucking all-wheel drive fucking monster. All right, now I'm gonna ask you as a car guy: dream car, engine, transmission, car with wheels and tires. What would that list be?
That's what I'm working on right now. So I would say either the C7 or the C8. You
All
know,
right.
it's either one of those. You know, if I go with a C7, I definitely want to get a Z06. Because you know it comes with a supercharger and everything like that already. So
Yeah.
I just like the body style on the C7 better. I just think it's more aggressive than the C8.
Well, it's much more scooped at the front.
Yeah,
It's got this beautiful curve.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, it's definitely. Are you a stereo guy?
Not as much, not anymore, man. When I was younger, yeah, you know, I like all that bass and all that sort of stuff. But now, like the Sirius in the cars right now are so good that because I remember when I had my Fox Body Mustang, I had a crazy system in it, like crazy system. Like you could hear me from blocks away. But you know, getting the new cars now, the stereo system is they're so good that you don't need to put all that extra stuff in there. So I'm more for speed, you know. Even though, like I said, you know, out here we ain't got the roads and stuff like that, but you know, from traffic light to traffic light, I like to go fast.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the same. I used to be low and slow, and then I'm like, no, I'm all go now.
I mean, every once in a while, I would drive out to Delaware, and they got some really nice roads out there, and that's where I usually go driving and stuff like that. So I'll take on Sunday, I'll take the Corvette out to Delaware and really open it up on those open roads out there, which is, you know, no traffic lights, nice smooth roads and stuff like that. So that's. Do
you guys have a lot of car gatherings out there? Because you know, out here, you know, almost every weekend you have basically a car show in a parking lot, a car show at the fairgrounds, a car, you know, like like just where I live, there's a huge Corvette rally crew, and they get together, you know, just like you said, on a Sunday, all the Corvettes are polished up out there in the parking lot, and then they all take a long drive.
I don't really do the car the car show type stuff, and so I feel like that's for guys that just buy a car and just have it sit in their garage and look at it all pretty and shit like that. I like to drive my car, you know. Even in the wintertime, I drive my Corvette, you know.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of buying something that expensive and just having it sit there and look pretty, you know? It's like having a girl that's beautiful and just having to sit there and look at her the whole time, you know? Like, there's no point to it.
You know, that's like I said, I didn't know you was a car guy, so it's just very refreshing because it's just like, that's like, you know, when you find a connection like that, you're just like, oh man, dude, I'm a fucking car guy, dude.
Yeah, I keep it on the low because, you know, if you look at my social media and stuff like that, I don't post anything. You know, that's my personal hobby and stuff like that. So I keep it all bodybuilding on social media, but when I'm not doing this whole bodybuilding thing, you know, I'm definitely into cars and stuff like that. Like I'm always on Facebook looking at cars, trying to see what's out there, you know, trying to see if it's worth buying this or, you know.
Before we got on, I was doing the same thing.
Yeah. I've been for the past 6 or 7 years, I have been upgrading my car every year. So I would buy a car, hold on to it for 1 year, and then the next year I'll sell it and get it something new. So I've been going through cars every year. I've been getting something new. I feel like whenever I start a prep, I got an itch to just buy something new.
There we go. You know, you got to have that little calm there. You know what I'm saying? That little like, I feel good because it's right there waiting for me.
Basically, financially, it's not the best decisions.
not because there's so many options.
Exactly, you know.
And then when you get to paint too, that's always like the final straw right there. Like when you went in to get that custom paint, it's like you know, pinstriping out here is like one of the biggest things. So if you can get a good pinstriper to like lay down a couple of lines, that changes the whole profile of a car because like the way they can do the sweeps with that roll with the curves. Oh my God, it just puts that little fucking feather in the cap right there. You ever see that show Counting Cars with the one they do in Vegas, the counts cars?
No, I never seen it. No.
Oh, you got to check it out because he's always buying and flipping cars in every episode. And that even when you're on Facebook, if you look it up, Counting Cars, they break down the episode to like 10, 15 minutes because, you know, without all the filler. But he'll drive down the street, whether it's staged or not. He'll see a car, make an offer on the car as they're driving, or pull the person over, ask, and then they turn around and like just put their spin on it, and every time it comes out just and no matter how many times I watch it, I can't get enough of it.
I'll tell you a cool story. A while back, I took my vet to New York, and I parked it in the parking lot, and I was gone for a while, and then I think I had to feed because it's a metered parking, so I
Yeah.
had to go back and add money to the meter, otherwise I would have gotten a ticket or whatever. And I came back, and there was a note on my car with this guy, his first name, last name, his telephone number,
Yeah.
asking me to reach out to him because he wants to buy the car. So I take the note and I go back. I went back to what I was doing, and then I came back again when I was ready to leave, and there was somebody standing next to the car taking pictures of the car. And he was that same guy. So he must have left me the note. I saw I didn't respond or whatever. Then he came back to see if the person that owned that car was gonna be there. So he was waiting to see who owned the car so he could talk to them. So he came up to me and talked to me and tell me how much he's interested in the car. And I told him it's not for sale. And he's just like, you got my note. If you change your mind, let me know because I would love to buy your car. I can't believe he actually waited. I can't believe he actually waited around to see who was driving the car so he could try to convince me to sell the car.
Well, let me tell you right now, when you got good taste and you put it into the car, it really shows. And it shows you right there. Like, he was like, oh, I got to have this car.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm not, knowing what I know right now and the fact that I'm actually thinking about selling it, I wish I had that number still.
Ugh. Oh, yeah. Well, brother, what shit, man? We're already almost 50 minutes into this. We're almost hit an hour. I don't want to hold you up for too long. With everyone listening and people that are going to hear this, if you had to throw one thing out there, just so someone would understand to chase the passion that you love in life, what would you tell them?
Oh man, I mean, I could use my life as an example because, like I said, I started off, being an undergrad counselor, and I decided to chase my dreams and try to do this full time. And nothing is ever guaranteed, but if you put enough hard work and passion into it, you can make it work. So to anybody out there that's trying to follow their dreams, man, I say, go after it. As long as you have that passion, and as long as you're willing to put in the work, you definitely would succeed. So that would be my advice to anybody that's out there, watching this right now.
That's what I'm talking about. You guys heard it right here. Akim Williams. This guy is a monster. This guy is a beast, and he is handling life, chasing his dream, and getting shit done. And I can't wait to see you on stage again. And you know what? Thank you for coming on. For those who are listening, I'm part of the Inner Circle Podcast Network group of powerful podcasters that they're sharing their shit. It's innercirclepn.com. We have shows as Creatures of the Night, The Hood Diner, The Untrained Eye, The Plunge, Failing Hollywood, Simmons and More podcast. Shit happens when you party naked because guess the fuck what? It's too hot for the internet, so it has to be on Patreon at Team Elmy. So this is the innercirclepn.com. Make sure you check it the fuck out. And we'll see y'all motherfuckers on the next one. Bye.
Always living.